Today I want to talk about the new weapon tier list for game version 2.0. You know, tomorrow comes the new live stream for Monster Hunter Rise game version 3.0, and in 2 days the update 3.0 releases. And so that's the last day of the game version, or the last 2 days of the game version 2.0, and I want to compare the weapon tier list 1.1 and compare it to the 2.0 weapon tier list. So you can see these are all the world records we have. I also got a message from okay, now I made the hyperlink working. You can click on this link and then you can see also yes, all the Japanese Nintendo Switch speedruns, also for Bilibili and all that other stuff included. So it's pretty easy. On the right side you can see game version 1.1.x, and on the left side, let's make it a tiny bit more. Okay, now it's correct. Yes. So first of all, I only want to compare the complete tier list. So I made 3 tier lists. The first tier list is for all high rank 7 quests included, and also now only with the 2.0 update I separated the Apex and Elder monsters with the capable monsters. And so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the all high rank 7 quests tier list. So you can see Bow still on the first place, light bowgun still on the second place, longsword and heavy bowgun switched the places. On the 1.1 version, Switch-Axe was on the 5th place and Greatsword on the 6th. And now in game version 2.0 also Switch-Axe and Greatsword switched the places. And Greatsword got a huge buff. You can see here on the first data sheet, Greatsword needed about 3.5 minutes and the Switch-Axe 3 and 20 minutes, and now after the update Greatsword exactly 3 minutes and Switch-Axe 3:14. So there is a huge improvement for Greatsword. Now to the next places. Yes, after Switch-Axe and Greatsword comes Charge Blade. Charge Blade, got a little bit worse in the new update from the 7th to the 8th place. You can see it here, because actually the dual blades are pretty good in this game version. You can see here it's in the middle, and in the first version it was at the 10th place. So I think dual blades are gonna be pretty strong through the 2.0 update. Yes, Sword and Shield is only slightly a little bit more worse, and Insect Glaive is in the first version on the 9th place, and here it's on the 10th. So also Insect Glaive a little bit more bad, and I think the reason is because dual blades are heavily increased their rank, and that's the reason why Sword and Shield, Insect Glaive, also some other weapons or falls down because of the dual blades, because they are pretty strong now. So they are actually in the middle. So the next thing is hunting horn, hammer are pretty the same rank like in the first version. You can see hunting horn is still on the 11th and hammer on the 12th place. And gun lance is now a tiny little bit more stronger. You can see here in the first version the gun lance time was extremely bad in comparison to the other weapons. You can see it here, such bad in the first version, and now you can see it's slightly more better than the lance. I think they are nearly the same, but you can see here it's not so extreme. All the weapons are maybe there is no so huge difference like in the first version. You can see there is still a huge difference between longsword and greatsword. So you can see by far longsword and the gunner weapons are by far still the best. You can see here there is still a huge difference, and then here all the time goes slightly more increased. Okay, now we're gonna go into more deep for the weapon tier list. So you can see I wrote S plus rank is bow and light bowgun because the runs are under 2.5 minutes. On the S rank is heavy bowgun and longsword because the runs are under 3 minutes. They're about 2.5 minutes. So I think maybe they are also between S and S plus rank. The next is on the A rank is Greatsword, Switch Axe, Dual Blades, Charge Blade and SNS, but I think Greatsword is S plus because it's only 1 second from the S rank. So I would say yes. HBG and Longsword is between S and S plus, and Greatsword is A plus, and yes, all the other weapons here, the 4 other Switch Axe, Dual Blades, Charge Blade, SNS are A rank because yes, the time is sub 3.5. And now for the B rank, it's Insect Glaive, Hunting Horn, Hammer, Gun Lance and Lance. You can see here all the runs between 3.5 and 4 minutes. So I wrote these 5 weapons or B rank. I didn't expect it that Hammer is so bad in Rise. You can see the 12th place, pretty bad. I know maybe in Iceborne Hammer was slightly more better than the Switch Axe. Yes, maybe sometimes at the 5th or 6th rank, and now one of the worst weapons, Hammer. Yes, didn't expect it. Hammer is so bad now. And yes, Hunting Horn is, I think it's not bad. In Iceborne it was always the last, or yes, the 13th place, and now it's got increased to the 12th place. I think it's still a pretty good weapon. Now you can see here some differences between capable monsters and no capable monsters. For example, you can see here for the apex monsters, the Switch Axe is better than the Greatsword. So I think one of the reasons is maybe that apex monsters are more agile. In capable hunts, you can put the monsters into a trap, they don't move, and you can easily do your true charge slash stuff and other things, and I think that's one of the reasons because yes, Switch Axe is pretty good. And I think another reason is that you have the soaring wyvern blade for the Switch Axe, and this move gives you a lot of your gouge and also does fixed damage. And on a lot of apex monsters you can't trigger the weakness exploit skill, and yes, I see the playstyles against apex monsters a lot of ZSD spam and a mix between ZSD spam and soaring wyvern blade where we can do fixed damage. And yes, I think that's one of the reasons because Switch Axe is better for apex monsters than Greatsword. You can also see here that dual blades are pretty bad for apex monsters. Yes. And now to the monsters with the capable quests, so no Elder Dragons or Apex monsters. So you can see here, Greatsword is a lot better than Switch Axe for non-capable monsters. I think I told you that's the reason sometimes you can use traps or what else or other stuff, or you can trigger weakness exploit skill. And yes, that's the only difference. And also the dual blades are better than the Switch Axe. So you can see all the weapons are nearly the same. The only difference is that yes, for apex monsters, Switch Axe is better than Greatsword, and dual blades are pretty bad. And for capable monsters, the Switch Axe is not so good as like for apex monsters in comparison. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long. See you next time for the next meta weapon tier list. I may be gonna show also the weapons, we will see.